Blessed day to you, all my sports to the bone people. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you all for tuning in. Hope everybody is doing okay. Hope you're all having a magnificent evening. All right, my sports to the bone people. So as I work my way through the traffic here, we're going to be talking a little bit of cricket, lovely cricket. Yeah man, so just let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And also, if you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel. Turn on that post notification bell so you can stay updated and know exactly when we post a video, right? Alright, so we have a couple of things to talk about, my people. Now, the West Indies Championship is on a break, but there are a couple of things concerning or pertaining to the championship that I would like to zoom in on. Also have some international stuff that we will definitely throw in the mix. Alright, the first thing I want to highlight, this was a comment. I saw this comment, I think it was under the video that I did yesterday, you know, where someone was saying that CWI, they need to organize camp for pace bowlers, right? Pace bowlers camp. Remember they had a spin camp the other day and they're always having batting camp and all of them things. But you know, I saw where someone was saying that they definitely need to put together pace bowling camp. Now, I totally agree, and the thing is, for a long time we have been asking about pace bowlers and what's happening and this and that. I mean, it's not like we're not saying we have found pacers to bring back the 80s and the early 90s or anything, but you know, we have a handful of seamers coming through. You can see the raw talent, you can see them putting down some good pace, you understand, in the championship, and it would be nice, it definitely would be nice to have these guys going through a camp. And we're not only talking about, you know, practice sessions and stuff like that. You bring in experts who have been there and done that to run these camps. You understand? Bring in some former pace bowlers to, you know, not only take a look at the action, but also explain certain things to the players. Obviously, CWI, they have coaches that they appoint, you know, to run different things, but sometimes they definitely need to bring in specialists to come and do something. Now, a couple of years ago or a couple of seasons ago, India, they found this speedster, right, in the IPL. I think his name is Malik. And you know, leading up to the World Cup, I think he was leading up to the T20 World Cup at that time, one of the things that they did was debated a lot was that, you know, would have been important to assign him to a personal coach and somebody just to look after his well-being. You understand? I'm not saying that every player that comes through that look like they have a little bit of talent, we need to do that. But if we can have a handful or a group of players, and I think it's the best place to start right now would be with these same pacers that we have that we see coming through. You understand? They look hungry, they are strong, they are young. So if we can get them to put in some work, you understand, and not only put in work, but make sure that the action, not saying that you want to change a bowler's action, but you want to make sure that it's efficient before they reach to a certain stage. Make sure that they understand, you know, the basic things. It might sound simple, you know, because all of us that have been watching cricket for years, we can easily tell you the phases of fast bowling. We can tell you that, listen, we have the run up, the approach, we have the gather phase, we have the release, and we have the follow through, right? We all can tell you that, but sometimes we are watching at the international level, and some of the things that a fast bowler would struggle with, you understand, those are basic things. You know, there might be one or two international players from the Caribbean that I could point fingers at when it comes on to, you know, simple little things that they need to, that they should have mastered already, that they're still having an issue with. You know, so if we can get people in place to help the youngsters to start out these things, that would be good. So that, you know, a pace bowling camp would be something good. You understand? I mean, I know that all of this takes money, and you know, you have to invest in this and that. But I'm just saying, we're always putting together a camp learning how to bat spin. We're always putting together camps learning how to bat spin, and every time we play test T20 or ODIs, we don't really see the difference. You understand? But traditionally, we are known for producing good seamers, because our guys, they are well built, they are strong, you understand, and they are athletic. You know, so if we can get these guys to understand the art of fast bowling from early, if we can get them to understand the art of fast bowling from early, there are certain things that they will definitely make sure they have sorted out. You understand? So when you look at age 26, 27, 28, when a fast bowler should be coming into their prime, you wouldn't be worrying about a fast bowler's fitness in terms of, you know, if they can bowl a certain amount of overs for the day. You wouldn't be worrying about things like that, because they would already learn the art of fast bowling, and they would understand what it takes to really play. You know, so that is definitely something that they need to consider. You understand? While we're talking about bowlers, it was a couple months ago, probably about 2 months ago or so, that they had this camp for spin bowling. You understand? So that they are looking hard, they are searching, not even camp for spin bowling, but I think they were mostly interested in finding leg spinners. Obviously, if they find other good spinners, that would be good, but you know, they are searching hard, because we know that leg spin is very, very important when it comes on to especially T20 cricket. You know, so we see them putting in a lot of work where those aspect is concerned. So it would be nice. And as I said, I just saw where somebody posted this in the comment section, and you know, I figured it was a good time for us to just talk about this, because you know, the fast bowlers, we see them coming through. You know, we're not saying that they are there, we're not saying they are the finished product, but we see them coming through, and they look like they, you know, if we can invest in them and work with them a bit. You understand? I mean, it's not our weakness right now, because we have a couple of seamers that they can more often than not bowl out a side 2 times. You know, they're not probably going to consistently do it to the best teams in the world, but more often than not, they will be able to take 20 wickets in a test match. You understand? So, you know, we definitely need to look at that. Another thing, my people, in terms of the championship, I know we give the batsmen a lot of stick, you know, and things like that, but I want to say hats off to the batsmen coming out of the championship so far, because I mean, it's not finished, but the conversion rate is looking good in terms of batsmen scoring half centuries and going on to get centuries. You understand? I don't have the actual numbers right now as I am driving and just talking this one out of my head, but you know, we have to say hats off. Just looking at it, each round we can point out at least 4 or 5 centuries coming out of the round. And as I have always said, that scoring runs at the first class level doesn't necessarily mean you're ready to score at the international level. What it means is that, listen, this is the level, this is the cricket that is in front of you now, and you are mastering it. So we keep our fingers crossed that when you go to the next level, you'll be able to do the same or to quickly adapt. You understand? So we just want to say hats off to the batsmen who have been scoring centuries. I feel like quite a few seasons we have to be saying that, you know, guys are getting half centuries, guys are getting starts, but they are not kicking on. There are still a couple of players that they will go out there, they will bat, they will, you know, get a good 30, 40, 50. And those who have been following this page, you can attest to this. This is something that I've always said. If you are playing red ball cricket and you manage to stay out there and score 30, 40, you understand, you are in. You are in. Once it's not one of them innings where you just go out and you know, get a lot of sixes and fours and stuff. Once you stay out there and play normal shots, if you get you up to 30, 40, you are in. You understand? More often than not, it's your concentration or a mistake that will get you out. Not saying that a bowler can produce it, you know. A bowler will produce a good delivery throughout, you know, to get you out. But if you are, if you manage to get in the 30s, 40s, that means you would have seen off, especially as a top order, you would have seen off, you would have seen off the new ball. You know, you would have gotten a look at the opening bowlers and probably first and second change. You know, so I just want to say shout out to them, my people, because season behind season we have always said that, you know, we don't want to see the same people scoring centuries over and over. I mean, we still see the usual suspects getting centuries, but we see a couple of new faces. We see guys coming in and getting centuries. You understand? We see people like Jonathan Drakes. You understand? We see Andrew doing his thing. We see Bowen Tuckett as a youngster coming through and getting some runs also. You understand? Anderson, we have always said that the Guyanese there, talented player, want to see him getting some more runs. You understand? He has definitely shown some more maturity. You know, so there are a lot of positives so far, my people. And as I said, you know, we hope that they can continue this. You know, and I made mention of this in previous videos that when we have the international players stepping down, we want to be able to see the difference. We need to see the difference. You understand? We're not talking down to the players that are trying to get to the international level. But what we're saying is that even if you are not amongst the best in the world in terms of when you are at the international, playing international games, once you make a step down to regional cricket, you know, 4-day championship or Super 50, once you make that step down, we should be able to differentiate. We should be able to say, yes, I don't remember if it was the third round of this championship. You know, I was happy when I saw, you know, Rastan Chase coming in and getting a century, Craig Brathwaite doing his thing. You understand? We also saw Django coming in, Joshua De Silva coming in and getting back-to-back centuries. You know, we want to see that. We want to see that. As I said, they are probably not at the level that we would want, where they can continuously win us games at the international level. But at least they show us that, you know, there's another step from regional cricket. You understand? Everybody is not the same. You have to make a step up. Obviously, the consistency is what we want. We want to see players being consistent. You know, we are hungry for that. Consistency is key. You know, you have to be consistent. You know, so but we still have to say shout out. Still have to say shout out. Because a lot of seasons, you know, we would say that, boy, we're not really seeing anything from the batsmen and the spinners keep dominating. You know, so far, I am really happy. I said this in a previous video. I'm happy that, you know, they are able to play games at different locations. It's not like when we had the COVID and people were traveling around. You know, we see the spinners doing their thing, the seamers and the batsmen getting an opportunity. So yeah, I just wanted to point out those key factors, my people. You know, that just wanted to address that comment there where somebody was saying about the pace bowling. As I said, I'm not saying that we're there or we're back in terms of producing. Not calling us the pace bowling factory or anything like that. But you know, when you see them coming through, just as though they see a couple spinners coming through and they're trying to hold them. It's not very often you see a youngster coming through bowling quick. You understand? You know, you want to make sure you can hold on to them and thing, you know. So yeah, that is definitely something that we need to look into. And as I said, the next part of it, you know, shout out to the batsmen for converting. You understand? We have always been very hard on them. You know, there are still a few players that we want to see some more from, but you know, so far it's been a very good championship. And talking about the championship, my people, there are a couple of players taking part in the regional championship now that will be playing in the Breakout T20 league. You know, I am hoping that this Breakout T20 league is you know, will serve as a platform, as they're trying to do, serve as a platform to produce some guys for the next hopefully for the next World Cup and thing. But you know, boy, I tell you, we see some guys performing in the championship right now, and they're down to take part in this Breakout T20 league. So you know, we might run into a case now, or run into a situation now where guys perform extremely well in the Breakout league, and they get a contract to play in the CPL, and then from CPL they move on to another franchise league, and then T10, and you know, and then it just keep going around and around. You know, back to where we are now. You know, we are doing all of this to try and, you know, we are encouraging people to play the championship to keep guys in Test cricket. But you know, we might find ourselves in that situation where, you know, you have a couple of guys they perform well, because no doubt we have some talented players. So if they can adapt to the T20 game and perform well, obviously a franchise will pick them up and at the CPL, you know, in CPL, and then other leagues will be looking also, you understand, and then we might find it a bit difficult to get them to stick with red ball. Then we would have to definitely hope and believe in what CWI said the other day, that, you know, they have a couple of prime ministers from the region, a couple of leaders, that their aim is to get a couple US million in a, you know, in a fund, you know, to make sure that they can support the players. You understand? To make sure that players coming through, they can support them. So that is something that would have to depend on also to try and keep the guys, you know. So very, very interesting, my people. As I said, I am happy we're able to have this league, this Breakout league. I am probably not as enthused as others as it relates to the age. You understand, the age limit 30. I am probably not happy about that. You understand? I saw where someone had posted in the comment section that, you know, if a man perform well at 30 and get to the international level, they still can have a good 4, 5, 6 years. But my thing is, because we know that some of our players, they are so inconsistent, we don't want a man at 30 perform and then get a chance and then, you know, it just in and out, you know. So I personally would have been happy with 25, 26 thereabout. But as I said, you can't always get everything you want. You know, we have the tournament. I would say that majority of the top youngsters from the Caribbean, they are in, you know. So if they make it up with a couple of others, we probably can just work with it. You understand? Majority of the top players from the region, the top young players, they are in. So, you know, we probably can just work with it and see where they go from there. But yeah, that is pretty much it, my viewers and subscribers. Just wanted to reason with you all on those couple of things, but we'll leave it right here for now. Wishing for you all a blessed rest of the evening. Stay safe, everybody. Bless up.